Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Gab and Glow podcast. I'm your host, Gigi. I hope you had a great week so far. Happy Friday. And yeah, I hope that this episode makes your day a little brighter. I'm honored that you're spending your Friday weekend, or maybe you're listening to this on a Monday, Tuesday. That's totally fine with me. Thank you for making me part of your day. This week we are going to be doing a glowing review. Remember last time we did Emma? Well, I finished my next book. So this week we are talking about People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry. So I'm not going to go as in depth as I did with Emma as far as like what goes on in the book. So there still should be plenty of surprises if you did want to read it yourself. But there will probably be some spoilers in this review. So I'll kind of let you know when I start talking about like specifics of like in the book and not just kind of like what I learned about it like beforehand or just like my general thoughts on it. So I'll let you know if, we're kind of going to get into spoiler territory if you wanted to, hop out before I spoil it. Not that I spoil it, but, if you really want it, like if you're really like one of those people who love to just be like surprised about everything about a book, then you might want to skip. So yeah, but first we're going to start with some life updates today. First of all, I'm feeling so gorge today because my bestie did my lashes and my brows. I don't know if you can see in the camera. Probably not as well as like in person, but she ate on my brows and my lashes. And so I've just been feeling so gorge the past week. So shout out to my bestie Tessa for making me gorge as always. I like so many like props today. I have my book. I have like my little I'm booked all weekend journal. I have my affirmations for a badass out. So I'm just like trying to shuffle everything around here. Ooh. I cannot wait. Sorry, because like when I move around and stuff, sometimes I hit my desk and then like my computer, which is videotaping me, so my desk, so then it starts like shaking, and then I'm just like, sorry guys, my videography isn't great, but yeah, I guess I'll just hop into right into the life updates because what I'm about to say is like one of the life updates or like connected to it. So I am moving soon. My boyfriend and I bought a house together. We're so excited. So we will be setting up roots here in Central Florida. We're so excited. And yeah, so we're moving very soon, like next week. So one of the biggest things that I'm really excited about in this new house is, we'll have our own offices. And that being said, I'll be able to like spread out more in the office. So I'll like have my desk for like my normal like 9 to 5 job. And then I'll also have like a little studio set up also in my office for this. So instead of like sitting at a desk, it'll probably be more of like a informal, like loungy, sitting on a couch type like vibe, which I'm really excited about because that's like really kind of what I want this vibe to be. I don't want me to be sitting at a desk reporting to you. I want to be like chilling with you. We're just hanging out, having a good time together because we're besties. So that's kind of the biggest thing that I'm excited about because I think it'll just be like it'll be such a positive change for the podcast. Sorry, my face is itchy. So yeah, I'm so ecstatic about that. And I just think it'll really level up, the pod game. So, stay tuned for that. I'm really excited. But yeah, that being said, I cleaned out my whole closet this past weekend. So I know I was sick. I'm so sorry guys for skipping last week. I had no voice. There was just no way that I could record something for you and it would be something that you guys would even want to listen to because it was actually disgusting sounding, my voice. So yeah, you would have thought that like my mouth had been sewn shut for like 20 years and then I just opened it. It was so gross. So yeah, I wasn't going to do that to anybody. So I figured it was best to skip and just come back this week all fresh throated and goated, Um, sorry. Sometimes I just say dumb shit. It's also so early in the morning. I'm only not even halfway through my coffee. So, probably a little delulu today. But yeah, I cleaned out that whole ass closet, all my drawers, went through everything. I had 2 huge donation bags of shit. A lot of cute stuff in it, like a lot of cute stuff. Me and Tessa, my bestie, did my lashes. She came over because I wanted her opinion on like what stuff she thought I could like sell to Plato's Closet, which I thought like a lot of it I could. And so we went through it all, and she saw them too, and she was like, okay, yeah, those are cute. I think they'll definitely take those, whatever. So I had a ton of cute stuff, like including like cute stuff for like the upcoming warmer months. Like I had beautiful cutie rompers in there, and cutie little like crop tops with like flowers and like pretty colors. And so I was like, okay, we're gonna take these to Plato's Closet first, see if we can get any money from them, and then we'll drop it at Goodwill. So we went to Plato's Closet. We left all my stuff there. They had it for like an hour. I come back. They said they literally couldn't take anything. Mind you, me and Tessa walked around that whole store before like we kind of gave up and we're like, okay, we're gonna go somewhere else and we'll just like wait for the text. They had cute stuff, but it was like similar or not as cute as like a lot of the stuff that I brought in. So I was thinking like some of the like tank tops they had, I was like, oh, okay, they'll definitely take my tank tops because they're super cute. And I was like, oh, they'll take my rompers for sure because they're super fucking cute. So whatever, they literally didn't take anything, and I think that's such bullshit, because I also had like a ton of really cute workout clothes in there, and like a couple sets, like a matching sports bra and bottom. And they're saying like, yeah, just a lot of this stuff like just wouldn't sell for us. Like, girl, all of this would sell for you. You don't think girls want cute matching workout clothes? You don't think girls want cute rompers for summer? Like, give me a break. So anyway, that just pissed me off because I'm like, okay, either you're saying I'm fat or old. It has to be one of the two, because it's not that my clothes aren't cute and it's not that they won't sell. So it's either like the size that you don't like about them, or you think I'm too old to be selling shit at Plato's Closet. That's what I think. So yeah, I felt stupid humbled by that. I was like, are you calling me fat? Like, what? I was so pissed. Yeah, Tessa was there. She can attest I was raging. So, well, not raging and not in the store, but when we got out, I just was like, okay. I took my huge bags back. I'm just walking out, so embarrassed. Once we get in the car, I'm like, what the fuck? Why wouldn't they take any of this? This is all so cute. I don't get it. But yeah, no, I wasn't mean. I was not mean to the people in Plato's Closet. I was just pissed when I got to my car. So yeah, we dropped it off at Goodwill. So yeah, but I was hoping to get like a little bit of money from that stuff because it was cute, and a lot of the stuff I really didn't wear like that much because I bought them around the time that I got like my implant put in, and like I ballooned up, like I gained so much weight that I couldn't fit into any of them like within a couple of months. So like a lot of the stuff was like barely worn. Or some of them was like never worn. Like I gave some stuff that still had tags on them. So whatever. Okay. So I'm already pissed. I'm already pissed about this, okay? And I needed to go to Walmart because Tessa said that they sell like really cheap cardboard boxes there. And they do, but they didn't have any like big cardboard boxes. They only had like smaller ones. So I was like, okay, that's not gonna work for me. I need like bigger boxes. So I was like, well, maybe I'll just get some like the plastic containers that you can store things in, storage bins, that's what they're called. And they had like a huge section of them, and there was like tons of them, and like some were like $20, some were $14, and there were a couple that were like rolled back, so like some said like $9. So I was like, I'll probably get those like $9 ones, but then I found some ones that were like $8 on rollback. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna grab those. There were like 5 of them there. I grabbed 3 of them. I left the other 2. Um, I bring them up to the front and I ring the three of them up, and they're ringing up as like 14.90 something, so like almost $15. But like for easy math, let's just say it's 14, and they were originally supposed to be like 8. It was 8 in some sense, but like for easy math, let's say 8 and 14, right? So I like called over because I'm at like the self checkout. I called over, like there was two people standing there like that worked there, so I called them over and I was like, excuse me, like these are ringing up wrong. They were marked as like $8, but they're ringing up as 14. So like the two workers, they're like looking at me and then they look at each other, and then like the guy's like, you can take this, and then like walks away, and I'm like, okay. So he leaves. It was just, I was like, people hate me today. People just hate me today. I don't know what's going on, but the workers just hate me today. So I walk over back like to the register with the lady who is gonna help me, and she's looking at it, and then she's like, yeah, I can only take off $2. $2. I was like, well, they were like marked, and there were like multiple, like I didn't even take all of them, like, so I don't think that they were like in the wrong place. They were marked as like rollback for $8. So this is bringing up as like $6 more than it should be. And since I'm getting 3, that's an extra $18, that I'm not prepared to spend. If I wanted to spend $14 on the boxes, I would have picked up the $14 ones, So anyway, she's like, yeah, I can only take $2 off. I'm like, well, that's not gonna work for me. Like, I don't want them then if they're gonna be that expensive, because I didn't expect to pay that much. And she's just like looking at me and she's like, okay, well, I can only take off $2. And I'm like, okay, well, I don't want them anymore then. Can you take them off like, I'm not gonna pay for them, so can you take them away? And she's like, yeah, whatever. And so then she starts doing it, whatever. So she does it, but like, it's like I had to be like, it was almost like she was just gonna be like, well, like just buy them anyway. I'll take off $2 for you, but like you're gonna have to buy them anyway. And I was like, no, I'm not buying them. Like, take them off and take them back. I'm not doing that. So anyway, then we're leaving, and she was like, I'm so glad you got like you stood up for yourself, because she was being like sassy to you. And I was like, okay, like that's what I thought. Like at first I was like, am I being like rude and annoying here? Because she's acting like I'm the most annoying person in the world. And like, I'm just asking for help. Like, I thought you work, like, I mean, and she did. Like, you work here. I need help. Like, who am I supposed to talk to? Like, and yeah, and I find it really hard to believe that that they can't price match what they have on the shelves. Like, normally, like, someone would go and like check and make sure that like you're saying it the correct like amount. Like, so like, they know I'm not lying, right? Like, so someone would go and be like, oh yeah, these are marked at 8, whatever. And then normally, and and this is just in general, like stores, how stores don't really do it. Like if it's like Publix or whatever like that, Publix actually will give you, if you bring something up and it's marked as something and then it rings up as something higher, they will give it to you for free, $0, 0. Apparently Walmart will only take off $2 and not even go back to what was advertised. So yeah, but I find that really hard to believe that they can't like price adjust to put it to what it's marked as, because sometimes that happens. Sometimes people don't update the system when there's sales, and unfortunately some things might ring up wrong. But like as a company, you kind of have to fix that. Like that's false advertising then, so anyway. That was a day. I was like, okay, now I'm done, because I didn't get any money from all these clothes. And now I'm being bullied to buy these $14 storage bins when they're supposed to be 8. Like, so yeah, and I know like $6 is like not a lot, and like $18 is like not a lot or whatever, but like to me it's kind of a lot. Like that makes a difference. So I'm not doing that, but whatever. So yeah, rant over about that, but oh my god, that was just so annoying. One thing I also wanted to talk about, since I was sick, I did have some like revelations as far as like my body and like my weight and all that stuff goes. Like I know you guys know that I've been, doing like, health journey, fitness journey, weight loss journey, whatever you want to call it, just to get to a healthy weight for my body. And that doesn't necessarily mean like a certain number. To me, I guess weight loss is the wrong word. Maybe like fat loss and muscle gain journey. So just fitness journey. Let's just say fitness journey. Okay. For my fitness journey. I've been kind of plateaued for a little bit, and I had like kind of this story that I was telling myself to make myself feel better in my head, which was I've been working out a lot. I do gain muscle very easily, and I'm prioritizing protein. Muscle weighs more than fat does. So even though I might be like burning fat and like losing that and all that stuff because I'm gaining muscle, it's like evening out on the scale. So I'm not seeing like the scale go down. And so like I've been kind of telling myself that for a little bit, and I was just kind of like hoping it was true, right? Because I don't want to get discouraged. I really just want to keep like doing what I'm doing and just being the healthiest version of myself that I can be. It's been very like empowering. I can definitely feel a difference. I can see a difference. So I do think that I do know that I've been going in the right direction, right? So when I was sick, I wasn't working out, obviously. I also like was not like I wasn't cooking as much as I normally do, so I wasn't like making as nice like healthy meals. I probably wasn't eating as much protein as I should, just because I was like not feeling very well. My stomach was bothering me when I was sick because sometimes just like when my taste and like my smell is all messed up because of sickness, it can like bother my stomach. So yeah, all that to say, while I was sick, I legitimately lost 8 pounds, and I wasn't even like eating healthy. And so that like really proved to me like what I thought was happening in my body was correct. Like I wasn't working out, so I wasn't gaining muscle, but because I'm on like this weight loss medication, like it'll still, I guess help with that, obviously. I lost 8 pounds just from like laying in bed all week. And so that's how I know that I am plateauing weight wise, number wise, because I'm building that muscle. And so it might take a while for me to like see the scale like keep going down because my body composition is changing. My body is replacing fat with muscle, and so it is just going to kind of even out for a while. And so I think that a lot of people might be like seeing that but not understanding that that's what it is. And so I kind of just wanted to like share that just to kind of like give some people some like hope and like just peace of mind that like even though you're not seeing the scale go down, if you are seeing like changes in your body, if you feel like you look leaner, or you feel stronger, or you look stronger, or whatever, like go based on that. Like you can use the scale just to kind of like understand kind of where you are weight wise, and like kind of like I think it's just kind of why I'm like using the scale now that I know this is like I just find it interesting to see like what different weights look like with muscle and not just like all fat on me. It's just like it like really is like helping my brain understand. Also because like when I was younger, I was extremely muscular, and like when I look back at pictures, like I was lean. Like I was not fat by any means, but like doctors would say I was obese. I got broken up with in ninth grade because I was fat, apparently, according to him and his friends. Um, sorry, I'm just like, just, and literally, like, I probably would, I wasn't fat. I had a big ass and I had big boobs. Sorry about it. Okay. Anyway. So that kind of helps me like now reframe when I was younger. Like I wasn't fat, I was muscular, but they were just going off the number on the scale and my height. Like they're looking at my height, they're looking at how much I weigh, and they're like, "Oh, you're overweight," even though I'm just muscular. I work out almost every day. I was a competitive swimmer. Then I started riding and like riding horses, and so I was an extremely athletic and muscular girl. So I think that like this is kind of like almost altered my brain chemistry, and like I'm looking at like growing up, like how I felt about myself like so much differently, because I was like, if only I knew that, I probably would have grown up so much more confident, and um looked less for validation outside of myself, because like everyone was always telling me like I was fat or ugly because I had braces and glasses and whatever, like just whatever they wanted to say. Like I just listened to what everyone said about me, and just continually looked for outside validation. And I wonder like, what if the doctors didn't call me fat and obese when I was a child? Maybe I would feel like I don't need to prove myself to the world all the time. I don't know. So yeah, I guess just some food for thought there. um, the last thing I want to talk about as far as life updates go is I'm just on my TV show grind. Okay, I watched season 1 of Running Point in literally a day. So good. So good. If you haven't watched it yet, watch it. Oh my gosh, I'm addicted. I can't wait for the next season. I also watched the first season of High Potential finally. Now that my anxiety medicine is like really working and it's in there, I feel like I can watch a little bit more. Like I used to love like true crime type shows, or not true crime, but like you know police shows and detective shows and like all that. But as I got like a little bit older and more anxious, it definitely made me like more scared of the world to watch those shows. So I kind of took a break of those types of shows, but I started watching High Potential, and oh my gosh, it's so good. I'm addicted to that too. I cannot wait for season 2 to come out. That being said, once I finished it, I was like, okay, now I'm like craving like that type of show where they're like trying to figure out a case every episode. So I went back to Criminal Minds. I used to watch Criminal Minds literally all the time when I was in high school. I used to make my mom like record them when they came on TV for me. When I had like Netflix, I would just like binge it all the time. I was obsessed with Matthew Gray Gubler, Spencer Reed, my lovey, and then Shamar Moore. He's daddy, obviously. But yeah, so I started watching that because I'm like, okay, I think I'm ready to like dive back into like this part of my personality. I've just been such like an anxious little baby for so long. I think I'm ready to, get some suspense back into my life. So yeah, I'm rewatching that. I also started watching Shifting Gears. It's like that new TV show with Kat Dennings and Tim Allen. It's cute. I do like it. I mean, it's nothing like super crazy good, but I think like it's a cute little show to watch. So I'm caught up on that one. I'm caught up on Abbott. I only had like 2 episodes I think to catch up on. So I'm desperately waiting for new episodes of that to come out. I watched the 2-episode premiere of Good American Family. I'm sat for that. So I need the new episodes of that to come out as well. The Kardashians I got all caught up on. I know like a lot of people are over this, and I feel like I'm probably like one of the last people who actually watches this show, but I grew up like for as long as I can remember, I've been watching the Kardashians. My mom's been watching Keeping Up with the Kardashians since season 1. We watch all the spin-offs together, everything. So it's just been I feel very parasocial with them. It's very weird. They're like very like comforting to me. Like when I watch them, I just feel like I'm watching my family. But like also my whole family has said like we need a show like this because we're iconic just like this. So yeah, I think I just love it. I don't know. I don't know if other people are still loving it, but I love it. So oh gosh, I'm caught up on that. See, so I can't record in the mornings because god damn. My girl is tired. Oh, look, I'm halfway through this now. Okay. What else? Oh, then lastly, I am working on watching White Lotus. I have not watched season 3 yet. I watched season 1 and season 2 like a couple years ago. I do want to like rewatch season 1 and season 2 before watching season 3 just because I want to, even though I know you don't have to. But I thought this would be a fun show for me and Tessa to watch together. So I'm trying to force her into watching it. I can tell that she's not super hooked yet. She finds it very weird. But we're only 2 episodes in. So, anyone who's watched it, we got to stick with it. We got to get a couple episodes in. So Tessa, if you're listening, hang in there, girl. We will get you into it, I promise. And then eventually we'll be all caught up and we'll watch season 1, we'll watch season 2, and then we'll watch season 3. Okay. So yeah, that is basically it for life updates, other than the fact that I read I finished reading People We Meet on Vacation. So we're just going to hop into our main topic for today, which is our glowing review of People We Meet on Vacation. All right. So I'm trying to think of how I want to start with this. I think this is what we're going to do. Let's start with the I'm booked all weekend journal, okay? All right. So here is my little book review page. So cute. Okay. So book title, obviously, People We Meet on Vacation. The author is Emily Henry. The genre is a romantic comedy novel. And I rated this novel 4.5 out of 5 stars. My quick opinions of this book, I checked off that it was pure entertainment, emotional, and funny. I also added, because there's like one little spot that you can add something. So I added that it was a quick read. I felt like I read it really quickly. I actually stopped reading it halfway for like I was reading it every day, but I realized that I was going so fast and I almost wanted to savor it a little bit more. I didn't want to read through it as fast as I was because I could tell it was like a quicker read. So I definitely slowed down. I probably could have read it in less than a month if I wanted to, but I almost like wasn't ready to finish it. So I actually, when I had like 2 or 3 chapters left, I like kind of stopped for a couple days and then I started reading it again and I like accidentally like got hooked and I was like halfway through the last chapter and I realized that and I just stopped. I put it down and I was like, I'm not ready to finish. So then I gave it a couple more days and then I finished that chapter. I don't know. I'm like kind of weird like that. I think that's, do you guys think that's, oh, never mind. I'm not going to say it. Something neuroatypical, I would say, but yeah. So quick read. All that to say it was a quick read. Why I chose this book. So I had heard of it before. I've kind of heard of it on Book Talk here and there. Didn't know much about it though. And then there's a bookstore I think it's called like Writer's Nook, I want to say. Writer's something. And it's in downtown Winter Park. I love it. It's so cute. They had this book as their book of the month. One month and that was the month that I bought it. I was like, oh, like I'm curious. I want to read it. Maybe I'll read it now. If I read it in time, I could have gone to like their little book club for it, but I didn't. So, sorry, I just, this is what I mean when I say I'm probably neuroatypical. Because I just got like distracted by the fact that there are like so there's like a reader's guide in the back, maybe, and I know they have discussion questions, so I'm thinking maybe we'll go over those. I didn't really think about my answers for them, so I'll do it on the fly, but it might be fun to do that. Sorry, I just kind of remembered that was there. But yeah, I found this book at the bookstore, and then I was like, how I normally pick my books is the description on the back. If the description hooks me and I want to find out what happened, I buy it. So obviously, I feel like a lot of people do that. I'm like talking about it like it's revolutionary to do that, but anyway. That's why I chose that book. I began reading this on February 5th, 2025, and I finished it March 17th, 2025. Again, it took me a little over a month to read it, and only because I did not want to finish it, because I'm weird. The summary, I feel like it really can, I wrote the summary as like the tagline at the top here, because I think that really just, encompasses the whole summary of the book. 2 best friends, 10 summer trips, one last chance to fall in love. That's basically the whole book, like that's really all it is. Which is why I also feel like more comfy going into like more of the details of this book, because I do feel like it's pretty straightforward. There's not huge like twists or turns. It's very, you can see everything coming basically. So, yeah, I don't feel like quote unquote spoiling this book is a huge deal. That's all. But if you do not want to, I'm going to start going into like the backstory of the main characters and kind of why they are the way they are and how that influences how they move within the book. So if you don't want to know any of that yet before you read, go ahead and log out now, come back once you finished it, and we can go through it together. Okay. I think a big important concept in this book is kind of family of origin and like family dynamics and how, and potentially like childhood trauma and how like all those things kind of affect love life or like affects your love life. So sorry, I'm still so like stuffy, so sorry if I'm all like, sorry if I sound very moist. I don't mean to be. Okay, sorry, I needed my coffee. Okay, so we have Poppy is our main female character. So do I start with like her current life or her backstory? Let's just talk about like kind of like who she is as a person. So I believe they're like in their 30s. I think they're probably like just turning 30-ish during the current timeline of the book. What's cool about this book is it does kind of like pop back and forth. So like when you start a chapter, it'll say like this summer. I don't know if you can see. It says this summer, but then like if you, let's see. And then it starts like doing little flashbacks in chapters. So, how it said 10 summer trips. So there's like flashbacks to each of those trips, starting with the first one they took, and then like the last one and then it ends with like the last one they took, where it all kind of fell apart. So those also go in chronological order. Like they introduce you to them from farthest in the past trip to most recent trip. Okay, so that's a very cool thing about this book that I really liked. I actually put that as one of the highlights. So it's like there's a chapter for each trip, and I like how it kind of like bops back and forth in the timeline. Poppy is a like travel blogger. She currently works for a company called R&R. When she first started out her like travel blogging journey slash era, she did it like on her own. She didn't like work for a company. So her main thing was kind of like how to travel on a budget, and like just she would chronicle kind of how her and Alex made the most of their trips together, with very little money. So like, you know, where they found the best deals for hotels and, you know, all that kind of stuff. So that was, I think that was very cool. But then you see like now in her current life and her current job, she's feeling not as fulfilled. You know, now at her job, they like pay for all the trips, they pay for the accommodations. It's more of like a luxury travel blogging type vibe. So she's very like removed from like kind of her roots of where she started at as like travel blogging. So I think she's starting to feel like professional burnout from that. And she's trying to, she has a friend named Rachel who she's friends with in New York. That's where she works and lives currently. She lives in New York. And her friend's like, okay, well, when was like the last time you were truly happy? Because obviously Poppy's just feeling like stuck. She feels like she's like stuck in a rut, and she just doesn't feel like fulfilled or like happy. And her friend asks, like, well, when was the last time you felt like happy? Like, you know, pick your brain, try to, you know, see if you can figure out kind of like what went wrong. And she's like, well, I think the last time I was truly happy was like when I was on my last trip with Alex. So then this is like kind of when they start introducing Alex to us. She basically says like they went on a trip about like 2 years ago, and that was the last time they talked. Like they allude that something happened on that trip that ruined their relationship, and you don't know exactly what it is, but I think you can make a pretty good educated guess. So she is like, okay, I'm going to try to break the ice. I'm going to text him. I'm going to see if he would want to go on a trip with me. She takes time off of work. She does this trip like on her own dime, how she used to do it. And she asks Alex to come with her, and like she wants to repair their relationship on this trip. So he agrees. He says he's already going to Palm Springs for his brother's wedding. So she's like, okay, well, I'll just, we'll go up like a couple of days before. We'll do like our little trip, and then we'll go like to the wedding together. Cause obviously, or not obviously, but what we find out is like they grew up in the same town together, and they met in college about 10-11 years ago, and they've been best friends basically ever since they drove home from, because they met at college, but they realized that they were like from the same like hometown. So they become best friends when Alex drives Poppy home with him on like I don't know if it's summer break or spring break, but it's like one of the times where like they're going home from school to home. So they are from Linfield, Ohio, I want to say. And they went to college in Chicago. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, so that's kind of how we kind of get into the main like plot of the story, where they go on this trip together. They meet up for the first time. It's awkward. And then they kind of start doing the flashbacks and kind of explain to us like their relationship and kind of their differences, how they met, like all that kind of stuff. So like what I just told you about them, like driving home together. One of the big things about them is they don't really have much in common at their like core. So, Poppy's more of like a wild child. She just has always wanted to just travel the world and meet new people. They describe her as just having like insatiable wanderlust. So that just means like she's always just like on the move. She doesn't want to like stay in the same place. She's not big on settling down. All that kind of stuff. And then Alex, he's very much like a plain type of guy, more reserved. They always say that he's wearing khakis. He likes to stay home. They like say like they start the book with like a prologue, and like they give us like a little snippet of like one of the trips that they're on like 5 years before the book is taking place, and she's meeting him in a bar and he's literally reading, and she's like, oh my god, of course he'd be reading at a bar. So it's just like things like that. They're very different in that sense. And he actually after college, she went to New York to do like that whole thing, and he moved back home to their hometown because he wants to be by his brothers and like their nieces and nephews. He really like, his biggest dream is like settling down, getting married, having a family, all that stuff. And Poppy just wants to like, she does not like her hometown, and she has really no desire in going back. So I think this is like a good time to kind of getting into like their backstories and kind of like how their family dynamics and respective childhood trauma affects like how they go about their love life and their relationships. So also, obviously it says one last chance to follow up. It's obviously a friends to lovers type situation. But here's the deal, and like here's a kind of the whole thing is like you can tell like the whole time like they are in love with each other, and like she even says like she has like attractions to him, that she always has that like what if in the back of her brain, but they never go any farther because they know like at the end of the day like they want different things, and they don't want to like ruin their friendship even though like they are completely in love with each other. So yeah. Which this whole concept then like begs the question. It's like, not begs the question, but it's very much like friends to lovers can be very much a thing, which is, I think is like why some people like, I feel like some people have a hard time like I'm trying to put this into words. So me personally, like I don't love the idea of like my significant other having a best friend that is a straight girl. Just because in my experience, and obviously in reading books like this, it's like someone's always in love with someone, right? But I've also met a lot of people who have been very successful in keeping platonic relationships with someone that is like, if they're a guy that's like, if they're a straight guy that's like a straight girl, like I've heard of it. And you know, my boyfriend actually has like best friends that are girls, and at first I was like, what? I don't know about all that, but obviously, like, I trust him and he's never done anything with them, so sorry, I'm like airing out everything. All that to say is, like, I feel like there's two different like big perspectives on it, but I was like, someone's always in love with someone, don't you think? But I don't know. But yeah, these kind of books, I'm always like, okay, someone's in love with someone, and I know that for a fact. Anyway, so yeah, so they never go um any farther due to the fact that they just don't want to ruin their relationships. And so, um, also throughout this book, Alex has a girlfriend who's like on and off, and like they're always having problems. And one of the biggest problems is obviously like how close he is with Poppy, and like basically how, like, you basically learn through like the flashbacks that like Poppy like always comes first in his life. Like, he is so in love with her that it's like crazy, and like no one else will be above her. So um being his significant other, like, you will always come second to Poppy, and obviously that doesn't feel good. So, you know, there's a lot of like back and forth with that. But yeah, the one thing that I kind of want to like, again, I don't want to go through like everything with this book. I'm not going to go through like every single detail, but I'm just kind of going over like the main themes that kind of stood out to me. Um, so yeah, as far as the family dynamics go, so Poppy, she's from like a very eclectic family. She is like the youngest of three kids, two older brothers. Everyone is very like loud and energetic, and um also like she um describes her parents as like kind of like low key like hoarders, and it's like they're so sentimental and they like don't get rid of like anything. um and so she kind of, it's not like she's embarrassed of them almost, but she's very like protective of them, and she doesn't like to introduce people to her family because she knows people will judge them by like her house and like the way they act and whatever. She's like, but my family is like the best people in the world, and like I want to protect them for like from that judgment. And I think that probably comes from the fact that like she was very like judged when she was in high school. She was definitely bullied. She had issues like with some like guys in her town and some girls as well, I believe. So she just hated that town. Like, she always wanted to get out. She never wanted to look back. She does not want to be there. Aside from seeing her family, but like she just hates going back to her hometown. Alex, on the other hand, his, I think he's like one of 4 or 5 brothers. Definitely at least 4. But and he is the oldest. His mother passed away during childbirth of his youngest brother. After that, his dad was like really depressed and did not like really do much, and kind of Alex became like the caretaker of everyone. Um and so that's just very much his personality. He's very like family oriented. He wants to be around his younger brothers and like their families, and he wants to stay like in the home, like the town they grew up in, and he wants to get married and raise a family there, and he really just wants to like settle down and all that stuff. um so you can see how like their different upbringings like kind of affect their current situation, and also like how they are like going about their relationships, because like that's the main thing that is like why they'll never work, is like Poppy does not want to live in Linfield, and Alex does. And I think Poppy isn't sure if she wants to, like, you know, have kids and all that stuff. So it's just kind of like the fundamentals are just not quite lining up. So that's why, you know, they have never like progressed in that way. Which I think also just makes like their relationship very complicated, because it's always that like we are in love with each other, but we know it's not going to work. So we are just like pretending like we're best friends so that we don't lose each other. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, yeah, it was a lot. So yeah, I think that's as far as I'm going to go into like their backstories and stuff, because I think like other stuff can be definitely revealed in the book when you read it. But I just thought it was interesting how like their family dynamics and like their childhood traumas affected like obviously how they wanted to like live the rest of their life. What else did I want to talk about with this book? Okay, yeah. So basically, each chapter kind of just each of the flashback chapters just show us kind of like a little bit more how like in love they are with each other. And it's just kind of like, okay, you guys just need to sit down and try to make it work, because you guys obviously cannot be with anyone else. Like, you guys are in love with each other. So we finally get to like the reveal of what happened in Croatia, which was pretty much exactly what I thought would happen. So nothing not too much of a plot twist there. And they basically just stopped talking for 2 years because they both got scared of their feelings for each other. So yeah, I think that's really all I'm going to go into as far as like specifics. Just like general highlights that I didn't touch on yet. You know, there's 2 spicy chapters. I thought they were very well written. Loved that. You know, the friends to lovers. I loved the reveal of what happened in Croatia finally, because I was, you know, waiting like, what the hell happened? Like, I feel like I know what happened, but I feel like they were making. I will say that like what happened in Croatia was like a very anticlimactic to what I thought it would be, I guess. Like, I thought it would be bigger to make them stop talking, but it was just more kind of like a misunderstanding, which is at the end of the day, like, everything comes down to communication. So communicate, people. But I will say it was a very happy ending. I think this book is a great summer/vacation book. And I thought it was a quick, easy read. So let me go over my favorite quotes. So I have 4 really cute quotes that I really like. So the first one is, I don't think I knew I was lonely until I met you. I believe Alex said that. And maybe things can always get better between people who want to do a good job loving each other. Maybe that's all it takes. Which I think goes back to what I was saying about, you know, communication. Like, really at the end of the day, like, everything that happened between them was like a misunderstanding, and all they could have done is like communicate with each other and said like, look, I love you so much. I know like at our core, you know, we have certain like fundamental things that we don't currently see eye to eye on, but I think we need to explore that, you know, and figure out how we can make this work, because we are so in love with each other, and we need to like figure out how we're going to do this. And the next one is, and even if the point of life isn't just being happy, right now I am, down to the bones. Which I like, because I know like everyone always says that, like, you know, happiness isn't everything, and it's more about just like being content than being happy. But God, like, doesn't being like down to the bones happy just feels so good. that really is what makes life worth living, in my opinion. And then the last quote that I loved is, we're home, which is like one of the last lines in the book. So I thought that was very powerful and beautiful and cute. So yeah, I definitely think give it a read. I didn't give everything away. There's definitely so much more in this book that you can discover. So I highly recommend reading it. Okay. Let's do the discussion questions because I thought that they'd be fun. So when they first meet, Alex and Poppy are immediately put off by each other. Have you ever made a friend after a bad first impression? I'm trying to think. I feel like probably for sure. But I can't really think of any. I mean, maybe like I know like some girls didn't used to like me on my swim team and then we got over it and we were fine. But other than that, I can't really think of anyone specific. Let's see. The second one. What's something you do on vacation that you're unlikely to do in your daily life? Is there a certain comfort in anonymity? Um, there is a certain comfort in, anonymity. I will say I do like feeling like a new start on vacation. I don't know if there's something specifically that I do on vacation that I'm unlikely to do in my daily life, but I do feel like I'm a lot more confident on vacation. I do feel that. So that's not something physical, but it's just something like more of a feeling. I do feel like there is like a certain confidence that comes with like people not knowing much about you and you can kind of just like be yourself. I don't know. Number three, have you ever met a goal and found that your reaction wasn't quite what you expected? I do think that what I've noticed in life is, you know, once you meet a goal, there you tend to feel like, okay, well, then what's my next goal? So I feel like we're always working towards something. And so I think a lot of the times, like, we feel like when we meet a goal, it'll be like the end all be all. If I just get to this, like then everything will be better. But I life is a work in progress, and you know there's always going to be another goal that you want to work towards, and I think that's probably um, something that I've had to like learn throughout life. So not necessarily like a specific reaction to like a certain time I met a goal, but just like I feel like I used to expect that I'd be like, oh my gosh, now everything's fixed. And that's not usually the case. What is your worst vacation memory? Um, worst. I guess I think my worst vacation memory is like last uh trip to Tennessee that I did with my family. And we all went horseback riding, which was exciting because I really wanted to go horseback riding. But I think the worst part of it was like they um basically put us on the horses from like lightest to heaviest. And so I'm literally legitimately the last person to be put on a horse. And my horse, like me, so me and my cousins, I'm really short. My cousin, who's younger than me, she's extremely tall. So we were like weighing about the same, but it makes a lot more sense on her height than it does on mine. So she's gorgeous. She's stunning. I was a little chunky Oompa Loompa shorty next to her. But we were both saved to last because we got like the heavier horses. And it was crazy because the horse, like our two, like all the horses are under like a little like stable type thing, and then there's two like random horses just like over on the side by themselves. And I like leaned over to my cousin. I was like, if those are our horses, I'm gonna lose my shit. It's like they have the fat horses in exile. And yeah, those were our horses. So I was like, I was just feeling very like humbled and like on display. Like I feel like they were like announcing to everyone like how fat I was. So that was not a great memory. um your best. I think It's hard really to like pinpoint like a best memory. I think there's just so many beautiful like vacation memories that I have because and it's because it's just spending time with the people that I went on vacation with. So I feel like I can't really pinpoint that one, but and I don't know that necessarily the one that I said was my worst, but it's just the one in most recent memory that I'm like, gosh, that's crazy. Question number 5, Poppy is going through professional burnout. Have you ever experienced that kind of fatigue? How did you get through it? I do. I feel that fatigue often. How I got through it, I don't know, I'm like, I feel like I'm always kind of like, I feel like I'm still in it currently, but, um, I do feel like things that have helped have been like stuff like the podcast and just doing like different things for me and for like my hobbies, to still make sure that I am fulfilled, um, and just really reminding myself, um, that, you know, work isn't everything. And also, like, it's so important to really prioritize like the relationships in your life and things like that. And I feel like when my relationships are strong, um, I feel a lot better mentally. And I feel like I have a better chance at kind of like combating that professional burnout. So I know that's not like a super good answer to the question, but just more like I always feel like just really spending time with the people that you love and doing things that you love like always help with that. Question number 6, what vacation of Alex and Poppy's would you want to take? Which would you want to take the least? I think I would want to take their vacation to, I think it was Italy. That just seemed like a delicious, beautiful. Yeah, I want to say it was somewhere in Italy, but I can't figure out where. But yeah, like that just sounded beautiful. What would I want to take the least? I don't know, honestly, probably the one to Palm Springs, just because it sounded like horrific. They just, yeah, no. Read the book because I don't want to give everything away, but like just the place they were staying, no air conditioning, it's hot AF out there. I just think I'd pass out from heat exhaustion from the situations they were in, honestly. So yeah, I think that would be the one I want to take the least. Question number 7, having grown up in a small town, Poppy struggles to break free of her reputation, or at least struggles to believe she can do so. When have you felt misunderstood and how do you get past it? Um, I think I've grown up feeling very misunderstood, and I really feel like the only way I was able to get past it is really just finding people who did understand me, finding my people, who yeah, I just felt understood by, um, and just believing in myself and realizing that, um, you know, you only have to live your life for yourself, and what other people think just really does not matter. That kind of like new mantra of just like let them think what they want about you, let them think your reputation, because you know who you are on the inside is really all I can say about that one. Number 8, why do you think it takes Poppy and Alex so long to admit their feelings to each other? I think it's pretty obvious. They've said it multiple times. They just don't want to lose each other. They're worried that they're just so different that if they do try it, it just won't work out well. Number 9, Rachel has a lot to say about contentment versus purpose. In your own life, do you prize one over the other? Are these ideals mutually exclusive, or can you have both? I do think that you can have both. I think you can be content in where you are now and also be working towards different goals. Personally, I feel like I do prioritize, or not prioritize, but I do feel like I would feel content. I think just because with my OCD, I feel like that's a really hard feeling to come by. Um, and so I think that is probably the most important to me, because I think my brain has a hard time feeling content. So really prioritizing that and, feeling content where I am is important to me. Okay, question number 10. Do you think Poppy and Alex are going to make it? I think they will, because I think they've tried. So I think how they're going about being together is very smart and very like emotionally mature, which I'm not going to give away, but I do think because of that and just their willingness to compromise on like the lifestyles that they've always like seen for themselves, and kind of just like meet in the middle and like find a place that works for them and like a lifestyle that makes them feel the most happy as a unit. It's just, I think that one quote that I had said, like, when people just want to do a good job loving each other, I think that that's just kind of like what they're doing. They want to make each other happy, and like they just want the best for each other. And so I do, and because they have been best friends for so long, and I feel like they know each other's ins and outs, they know their roadblocks when it comes to their relationship, and I think they've had plenty of time to kind of figure out how to work around those things. So I do think they'll make it. So yeah, well, that is my review on People We Meet on Vacation. I loved it. I definitely recommend giving it a read. Again, I gave it 4.5 out of 5 stars. So it's definitely up there with one of the top books that I've read. I mean, honestly, I'm pretty easily pleased when it comes to books, I guess, and movies. Like, I think as long as there's like a good love story, good backstory for the characters, I love it, and I feel like it did hook me, and kept me engaged, which I love. So yeah, give it a read. All right, well, that's all I have for the main topic today. So we'll do our daily affirmation. Okay. Some people really sick. Avoid them. Sorry. Oh, that's kind of silly, but it's kind of funny because I'm watching Criminal Minds, and I was watching the other day. Russell was like, "Oh my god, this guy's sick." I'm like, "Well, yeah, do be the criminal mind." So yeah, that kind of just made me laugh because it's kind of relevant for the Criminal Minds that I've been watching. But yeah. Thanks so much for listening. I do want to hear from you guys, so please comment, leave a Q&A, email, DM me, whatever way you want to get in contact with me. Let me know what you think of the pod and your thoughts and opinions on People We Met on Vacation. Have you read it? What did you think about it? If you haven't read it, are you going to read it? Are you excited to read it? Let me know. And if you are liking the pod, please leave me a rating on Spotify or subscribe on YouTube. Give the video a like. Don't forget to listen to new episodes dropping every Friday. The podcast Instagram and TikTok is Gab and Glow Podcast. The Gab and Glow Podcast YouTube channel is also Gab and Glow Podcast. My personal Instagram and TikTok is _GIGI Raju_. And lastly, please DM me stories or email them to gabandglowpodcast@gmail.com. I'm always accepting stories like worst dates, worst breakups, crazy drama, family drama, crazy exes. Honestly, any crazy lore, just drop it to me to be read on the pod anonymously. Thanks for gabbing with me, and don't forget to keep on glowing. Bye.